Have you ever come across a story so heartbreaking, so outrageous, that it changes the way you see something as common as baby formula? Imagine this. You're a new mom, exhausted, overwhelmed, unsure. A shiny tin of formula shows up, free sample, beautifully marketed. It says it's better than your own breast milk. More nutrients. Scientifically formulated. Easier to digest. You want the best for your baby. So you try it. And that one choice, often made out of love and trust, becomes the first step in a chain of tragic events that has silently cost the lives of millions of babies around the world. Yes, millions. Hi, Mama. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk honestly today. No fear, no guilt. Just truth, gentle, clear, and backed by decades of evidence. Because this isn't just about feeding. It's about trust manipulation and what happens when big corporations prioritize profit over life. So, have you heard about the company that killed 10 million babies? Let's go back in time just a little. In the 1970s, one of the world's most powerful food companies, Nestle, began aggressively marketing infant formula to mothers across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Now, formula isn't evil. It has a role. But what Nestle did, that's another story. They trained saleswomen to wear white uniforms like nurses and visit new mothers in hospitals. They handed out free samples of infant formula, just enough to last a few weeks. Long enough for a mother's milk supply to start drying up. Because, as many of you know, when you stop nursing or expressing regularly, your body thinks the baby doesn't need milk anymore. So it stops producing. By the time the sample ran out, mothers had little or no breast milk left. And here's where it gets even worse. Many of these mothers lived in poverty-stricken areas. They couldn't afford to buy formula regularly. So they started diluting it, adding more water than instructed to make it last longer. But that meant babies weren't getting enough nutrients. Just watered-down powder. And in places with no clean drinking water, babies got sick. They got diarrhea. They got infections. And so many of them didn't make it. According to the World Health Organization, this marketing campaign contributed to the deaths of up to 10 million infants over several decades. That's not a number. That's someone's baby. A baby who could have lived. Now let's pause for a moment. As a pediatrician, I know that not every mom can or chooses to breastfeed. And that's okay. Formula has a place, especially when it's medically necessary. But the issue here is deception, convincing vulnerable moms that their milk wasn't good enough, that science had something better. That was the lie. Breast milk is perfectly designed by nature. It adapts to your baby's needs. It contains living antibodies, enzymes, hormones, all things formula simply can't replicate. Yet, Nestle and other formula companies like Enfamil and Similac spent billions convincing women otherwise. By the 1980s, global outrage exploded. There were protests, boycotts, even hearings at the United Nations. In 1981, the World Health Assembly adopted the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes, urging companies to stop unethical promotion. But sadly, even today, formula marketing hasn't stopped. It just got smarter. In the US, marketing is less aggressive but still incredibly influential. Did you know that around 84% of US hospitals hand out free formula samples to new moms at discharge? Studies show that even this small act can reduce breastfeeding duration significantly. Why? Because when you give formula early, your body makes less milk. It's supply and demand. No demand, no supply. Now I know you might be wondering, what if I genuinely can't breastfeed? What are my options? Let me share them with you. First, there's donor breast milk. Many hospitals now have access to regulated milk banks where screened, pasteurized human milk is available for babies in need, especially preemies. This is the next best thing to mom's milk. It carries similar immune benefits and digestibility. Always check with your pediatrician about how to access donor milk in your area. Second option, goat's milk. It's the closest in structure to human milk and is generally easier to digest than cow's milk. But plain goat milk is not complete for babies under 1 year. It lacks essential nutrients like folic acid, vitamin B12, and iron. So if you're using goat's milk as a base, it needs to be supplemented under the supervision of your pediatrician. Supplements to add might include infant multivitamin drops containing iron, folic acid drops or folate-enriched formula base, DHA, an important fatty acid for brain development. You'll also need to properly dilute it and sometimes add carbohydrates to mimic the calorie density of breast milk. This is not something to DIY. Always consult your pediatric provider. Third option, cow's milk. Widely available and often used globally, but for babies under 1 year, It also needs modification. It's high in protein and sodium, which can burden little kidneys, and it lacks adequate iron, essential fatty acids, and vitamin E. If cow's milk is being considered before 12 months, which is generally not recommended, it must be diluted and combined with infant-safe supplements, used only under medical supervision. From 1 year onward, full-fat cow's milk is okay in most healthy children, but it should still be limited to 16 to 24 ounces per day to prevent iron deficiency. If formula is the only option, and sometimes it is, choose wisely. Avoid brands that rely heavily on marketing claims like closest to breast milk. Instead, look at ingredients. Speak to your pediatrician. And if possible, avoid early and unnecessary use in the first few days after birth when your milk is still coming in. Let me share something that might comfort you. In the first 24 to 48 hours, babies are supposed to nurse frequently. Your colostrum, thick golden milk, isn't abundant, but it's powerful. It lines your baby's gut. It protects. It prepares. Your baby isn't starving. They're adjusting. Formula companies take advantage of this panic. They know a crying newborn equals a tired, worried mom. That's when the sample shows up. That's when trust gets broken. But knowledge is power. And you, mama, deserve the truth. Now let me be very, very clear. This is not about guilt. Whether you breastfeed, combo feed, or use formula from day one, you are a good mother. But every mother deserves informed choice, not manipulation, not marketing dressed as medical advice. Did you know that in some countries, formula companies actually sponsor pediatric conferences, send free samples to OBs, and give gifts to midwives? It's subtle, it's strategic, and it works. In 2019, The WHO reported that over 60 countries were still not fully implementing the code of marketing for breast milk substitutes. And globally, formula sales continue to rise, expected to hit $103 billion by 2026. But the cost? Too high. Not just in money, but in missed bonding, weakened immunity, and in too many places lost lives. So what can you do? You already are. By watching this video, by educating yourself, by asking questions, you're protecting your baby. You're breaking cycles of misinformation. If you're struggling with milk supply, please know you are not alone. Lactation consultants can help. Frequent skin-to-skin, feeding on demand, staying hydrated, and avoiding early formula use can all make a huge difference. And if breastfeeding doesn't work out, that's okay. Truly, what matters most is you and your baby thriving together. But let's never forget what happened. Let's never forget the mothers who lost their babies because someone told them their milk wasn't enough. Let's never stop demanding honesty from companies who profit from our most vulnerable moments. And let's raise the next generation with more truth, more love, and more respect for the power of a mother's body. Before you go, share this with another mama. Let's help each other stay informed. Let's make sure no mother is ever made to feel like her milk isn't good enough, ever again. And if this story moved you, please consider subscribing. We talk honestly here. No judgment, just real talk, because parenting is hard enough without being lied to. Until next time, take care of yourself. You're doing a great job. Truly.